Hey there, in today's video, I am what I call purging the paper. So I have a massive amount of collage paper that I just was kind of going through, and I really was like, oh, I gotta throw this paper out because I'm never gonna use it. It's bits and pieces, and some of them were bigger and it's colors I didn't really like. But then I thought, you know what? Let me just see if I can't incorporate it somehow into some of my art journals and then throw the leftovers away. So, I think every so often it's a good idea to kind of go through all your collage papers and say, would I really use this or would I not? And then get rid of them. But if you're like me and you have a hard time throwing any little scrap of paper away, I would suggest you do something like this. I really tried to work quickly. I tore papers up. I did use scissors a few times, but it was like, I just want to see what I can use and how I can get these papers into the art journal. And then I'm going to throw the rest away into the recycling bin. So it was kind of fun. It was a fun activity. So I would suggest that you go through your stash, because I know you have a lot of papers and they're just stacking up and you're like, I have my favorites, and my favorite colors. And I could see that when I was making these. It's like some of the colors weren't really going. Some of it was too busy. But part of it is now I have pages in my art journal that I can come back and respond to. I can paint over sections of it. I could paint over all of it, and it just provides texture. So anyway, it's a fun activity. I hope that you give it a try and, go purge your papers. Here's the stash of random papers that I couldn't bring myself to throw out that I'm going to try to use as collage on a variety of other substrates. I have a stack of papers that I have torn in half from cards that I've made. So either I attached the card or the piece and I did it crooked or something, and I've had to tear it apart. So I don't throw these papers out. I actually use them for the substrate of another greeting card that I might make. So I could put it, I could do something like this, collage this on and do something to that. So I have these papers in case I want to use them as the basis for some of the collage. But essentially, I'm going to use all my art journals. Now, there's 3 here in a stack, and I have 4 behind me, because here's the thing. When you open it up and you collage on here, then it has to dry. So I can only do so many in a day, because then it's got to sit there and dry. So I have, I'm going to try to work in all 7 of the art journals and then work on some of the paper. And I'm going to tell you right now, whatever is left over, it gets tossed, because I have such a big stash of sitting off to the side that I can't keep everything. And at a certain point I have to purge, and I have to either use it or it needs to go away. So that's what's happening today. So the other thing I'm going to use to apply it is Liquitex matte medium. You can use any kind of glue. You could use glue stick, you could use regular glue, whatever you want. Unless you want it to be archival, then that's a whole nother matter. And then I would definitely use more of an artist grade matte medium or a gloss medium, because those are not going to yellow over time. I'm also just going to use an old brush and a color shaper to press down to get everything down. I might use also a catalyst wedge, because that also kind of can smooth down and get rid of, although I don't mind wrinkles, I don't want to have air bubbles, because usually those I have to scratch up and they peel off and all that. So, all right, that's what we're going to do today. And because it is not, I don't think I'm going to talk through most of it, because it's just going to be a matter of me taking the papers and putting them down. So I'm just going to show you the process that I go through, and that, I do struggle to just throw little pieces of paper out. So, but like I said, I have to get rid of some of them. So we'll see what happens today and how many I have left at the end of this video. Well, I made it through most of the stash. I'm gonna get rid of these big pieces, but this was all that was left. So I think I did pretty good, and I made it through all 7 art journals. I did not even end up needing the white paper, card paper. Now, the reason I stopped using this is because the red was a little bit much for me. So that's okay, I can toss that. The reason I stopped using this one is that there is layers of, it feels like matte medium. So maybe it was on there first and then I painted over it, but it was really a little thick and a little too crunchy. And I was trying to work really fast. So as you can see, some of the, I kind of started getting hung up in a little bit of the details, but for the majority of it, I was just trying to put papers down, use up the stash that I had, and it's a really fun exercise, and I feel really good about tossing and recycling the rest of these papers. So I would definitely go through your stash and see what you have, and then whatever's left over, just either glue it into your art journal or make some cards out of it. But it is a great way to, purge your papers. All right, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.